Hey Washingtoners, and welcome back to the channel. And to this video, I want to share with you 5 competition judging criteria. However, judging criteria are not solely used in competition. They can be used at home to give you a structured approach to assess your streams, to give you a framework to understand their genetics. It also allows you to track your selective breeding progress. However, before we go into today's topic, I want to give a special shout out to Certain Stream, who is co-hosting this 2026 stream competition in South Africa. And for those who are living in South Africa, you are in for a treat. From now till the end of December, you'll get 12% off all Stream Century products on his website. So go ahead and check out his website. So what are the 5 key criteria when it comes to stream judging? So from a judge perspective, which I have done numerous judging across the world, the first and foremost and number one thing that we always use is color. And why color? Because color is one of the most striking feature that when you look at a stream, it is one of the most striking feature, and it gives you the vibrancy of the entire stream. Because when the color pops, when the color saturation is very deep, you can actually tell that it's a very good genetic quality, and overall care has been taken with this stream. So look for the stream that is very deep in color, well defined across the entire body, their legs, their body, their tail, their head. So everything with minimum fading and blotches in the stream itself. And one of the things that when we do judging in competition is that we use a 6500 Kelvin, which is daylight, to actually help shine and give more depth into the stream shell. This will allow us to actually look at it in a better perspective, because when we shine a light from the opposite direction, we can actually see how much color pigmentation is in the stream. And this will give a lot of clue to whether the stream is really high quality or it is of a high quality. So that's the very first one. The second one we like to actually look at is size. So size matters, and I have done a dedicated video on that in another one. You can actually check it out. So size matters, and one of the things is because genetically it is important to have size. And what does it mean? It means that it involves husbandry, which means that the tank is not overcrowded, because when you have an overcrowded tank, the stream could not or cannot reach its full potential quickly and easily. Because we have seen streams that are kept in tanks for a longest time and they do not grow to their maximum potential because they are cramped inside a tank that do not allow them to actually grow to their maximum potential. So size is one of the things that we often looked at, and we can actually think of it this way. Size is looking between 2.5 to 3 cm. That's something that we really like to look at, and that depends on how fast they can actually grow. So I think there's 2 things to this. Number one, if that you are living in the Northern Hemisphere, for example in Europe, in United States, in America, you guys will have a slower growth rate because of temperature. And for people living in the southern part of the hemisphere, like in the equatorial place, like in Singapore, like in Indonesia, like in Vietnam, these places will generally drive growth a lot faster because we have higher heat, which means that the temperature is slightly higher. We are at 24, 25 degrees, and they grow at a metabolic rate much faster than those living in the northern hemisphere. So the growth rate between the northern hemisphere and the central part, in the equatorial belt, is drastically different, because I have spoken to many hobbyists that uses heater during winter period to actually help to prevent them from going down too low in temperature. So which means that it can affect the growth rate and the size of the stream. And what we are looking at is when we have a big stream, like for example, a 2.5 to 3 cm stream, and if you have 5 of those in a competition with big size, which it means it can actually tell us that the genetic structure of the stream is strong, and this genetics of the stream has the potential of growing bigger. So that is number 2. So coming to number 3, where we talk about patterns. So patterns actually define the uniqueness of the visual appeal of the stream. Like for example, stardust, snowfall, and all these streams with patterns. Even PRL and all these, we consider them with patterns. And it includes like the marking, the symmetry of it, and a well-defined and consistent patterns is highly desirable. However, the patterns is depending on the consistency of it. Like for example, a stardust stream or snowflake, a consistent pattern is sought after. However, a snowfall doesn't want to have a consistent pattern, and because having that consistent pattern wouldn't make it stand out because of the spots and everything, it's important to see that different stream type will have a different criteria based on their patterns. So that's number 3, patterns, because patterns is one of the things that is very difficult to actually create or to actually make sure that they appear right. So patterns through selective breeding is a difficult approach, and we actually score quite high on this particular aspect. The number 4th thing on this one is about homogeneity. Homogeneity is nothing about having the same type of stream multiple times, which means that how stable is the genetic of the patterns, of the colors, and of the size. So homogeneity is something we will often look at with an angle, with a perspective, saying that how well has this stream been bred, and how well has this stream been kept at, in the sense that they will always throw out the same type of stream. However, this is just for competition. We understand that they will pick the best 5 amongst it and then do selective breeding, and from there they pick up another best 5 to make sure that it allows it to have a larger range of homogeneity, and then from there they will pick some of their, usually they will pick the B team to actually send it to competition. And one of the things that we often looked at is, which is number 5, is actually health. A lot of times when the stream comes in from various places of the world, like for example, if we have a stream competition in Europe or in United States or in South Africa, where the streams actually travel and arrive there, health is one of the most critical aspects of the stream over here. And one of the reasons for saying that is because if it arrives dead, then it's not going to be of any good, of any competition standard. We want to make sure that the stream arrive alive so that they can actually compete. And we have seen over the years many of the people who have sent hobbies and sellers who have sent their streams in large numbers. Like for example, they will send 8 just in case that some of them will die. However, when it arrives with 7 alive, what are we going to do with all the 7 pieces? So we're going to then select the best 5 for them, or what? So I don't think that is the right way to approach a competition. We want to measure the stream as is, which includes the health part of it. So which is, healthy streams are active, so we want to make sure that they have clear eyes, they have good color body, they have their legs. So the health assessment is actually a very crucial aspect which directly affect the growth, reproduction, and long-term viability of the stream. So even the most, like I said, even the most beautiful stream will not thrive without good health. So that's the 5 criteria that we use for stream competition, but you can actually apply all this judging at home by setting a point system. So out of those 5, you can set them evenly across with 20 points each, and then select and then grade them accordingly. However, if you want to be more stringent, you can put more to color, less to size, and things like that. So These are some of the framework that we actually use during competition. So by regularly, assessing your stream and over time, this practice actually allows you to refine your colony, I have mentioned, raise the overall quality of your streams, and enjoy the satisfaction of seeing tangible results in your stream keeping journey. So judging stream is as much as a growth about personal growth as about improving your colony. It turns into daily observation, into deliberate and rewarding process that enhances both your skills and your hobby alike. So I hope you guys have enjoyed and learned something from this video, and until next time, peace out.